All right, Edgar, simulcasting on TikTok, Snug Wrestling. Edgar, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up, Ryan? Not much, man. Just getting ready for this weekend, getting ready for Bad Blood.
Yeah, so you're Sacramento, right? And I'm Boston. I'm a 6 o'clock start. I got football at 3 o'clock, and I'm heading straight home for Bad Blood. Is the
hmm
3 o'clock pay per view weird for you on the West Coast? Because I personally love the one p.m. start on the East Coast when they're overseas.
No, I'm used to it. That's usually right around the time where most of the PLEs start. I think the pre-show is the one that starts at 3 p.m. Here Pacific time. Also,
I think the actual show starts at 3 p.m. Pacific for you. So the
yeah.
pre-show would be like 1, maybe, or if you're a
Oh, is
hardcore, you're gonna go at 1, probably 2 if you're just gonna settle in and watch the pay-per-view.
okay. See, I haven't even looked into it, but yeah, that's a good time on the weekends because it's over pretty early on a Saturday, and I still got time to go and do whatever if I want to like go out and hang out or
Yeah, go check
stay
out
home.
Snug Wrestling Bar in
Go
town or whatever.
go
Yeah.
check out the snug. Yeah.
Alright, but the reason I bring the kickoff, right, or the start time, because if this ain't last, this CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match we're talking about, is it first? Rumors are, Edgar, that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes versus the Bloodline will close Bad Blood, rumors being the key word there. I personally think that Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk inside Hell in the Cell, the big massive blow off to this year-long feud, should be the main event. But
Yeah.
politics aside, is the opener a good spot if it's not allowed to main event due to politics?
It's not a good spot for this match to come on first. Because it's gonna be hard for matches like Bailey versus Nia Jax, and I know it even has Tiffany Stratton that's involved on there. But if you put those ladies after a big Hell in a Cell match, the size of this feud that is Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk, people are just they're there for CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. I mean, that's one of the biggest draws of this event. So if
For
you
sure.
put that
Hands
match first, then that kind of sets the tone for everyone else, and that's going to be tough for everyone else to follow.
It is, and it just this deserves the main event spot. So what if Roman Reigns said, "If I ain't last, I'm first." So in modern day WWE, probably the second best spot is opening the show. It just feels that I'm sure they could present it to look fine, but it just feels that it's a little lesser than what it could and should be. And I would fear personally that it would hurt the quality of the actual match if it went on first. Now, is there truth to that statement? Probably not. Am I being a pessimist or am I being kind of vulnerable to the idea? Most likely, right? And will it matter? Probably not, right? It probably won't matter. I think there's
Mhm,
enough juice on this to go out there whenever and deliver. It just
mhm.
feels that between this and the Roman match, they should need the most separation. It just feels that Roman should open and this should close. But enough
Yeah,
of that. Tell us about Snug Wrestling before we get into the meat and potatoes of this feud. What's your latest episode? What's some of the episodes you liked recently? And what's really going on over there at Snug Wrestling?
for sure. Well, thanks, Ryan, for that. So I started off just doing podcasts, just a one person podcast, one man band, just myself reviewing AEW and WWE. I did that for about 6 months, and then I decided like, hey, I need to switch things up a little bit. I need to get like some different voices in my show because I don't want my viewers to get tired of listening to the same old me over and over again. So I started reaching out to people, other wrestling podcasts, other wrestling content creators like yourself, and created a lot of great relationships. And now I have multiple guests every episode. I put out 2 episodes a week with some of the most popular wrestling content creators like yourself. I have the No So on there. I've had everything with Roman,
Our
uh,
buddy Richie Mars has been on over there.
Richie Mars, just laying down. So all of these great wrestling content creators and wrestling podcast hosts on my show. And besides that, I started getting into streaming also. So I stream live WWE events on TikTok, and streaming is where it's at, I feel like. So I've even gotten into like video game streaming whenever I get a chance, which is not that much. And that's pretty much what my channel's about, man. Wrestling content, a little bit of video games here and there, and just having fun.
Yep, Snug Wrestling, check it out. But check out this build. On paper, this has been feud of the year. I think it's a cemented feud of the year if they actually deliver in the Hell in the Cell. You can go back all the way a year ago, pretty much here, November 2023, where CM Punk had that epic return at the Survivor Series. Drew McIntyre sputtered off after the War Games match in furious rage that CM Punk was back. Someone that mistreated him in the past, someone that when Drew McIntyre was a young man in the WWE turned a blind eye to when he went in the back looking for help. CM Punk is a cancer, according to Drew McIntyre. CM Punk will poison the WWE, according to Drew McIntyre. And CM Punk was just pissed. So the tone was set. And honestly, Drew McIntyre stole the Seth Rollins CM Punk feud away from Seth Rollins and made CM Punk's return about himself. And all that credit goes to Drew McIntyre right there.
Mhm.
Seth Rollins was at a little bit of a disadvantage being a babyface in the scenario because CM Punk returning to the WWE with 10 years ago, with being distant for 10 years, right?
Yeah.
It's hard for him to be a heel right away, right? So Drew McIntyre, a freshly turned heel, after being screwed by the bloodline over and over again, just being unjustly treated, just whatever, had a case to be a heel. And that heel turn was cemented that night when CM Punk returned. And then all that rage of a new christened heel turned on to CM Punk. And it
Mhm.
really blinded him in his quest to become World Heavyweight Champion or WWE Champion because as a babyface, he drove the WWE through the pandemic hard times. He was the face of the company. He was, the poster boy when times were bad, and he didn't feel like he just got his just due. So add CM Punk, add the angst of the failed babyface run, and a fresh heel Drew McIntyre was timely, it was aggressive, and it was fucking awesome. And CM Punk
Mhm.
has been the perfect foil. And by happenstance, Drew McIntyre was eliminated in the Royal Rumble by CM Punk. But before then, he tore CM Punk's tricep in
Mhm.
a accidental, but you could it with kayfabe, right? Say it was on
Right.
purpose or whatever. But luckily for this feud, unluckily for CM Punk, right? Luckily for Drew McIntyre, he would hurt CM Punk's tricep and pretty much take his spot at WrestleMania facing Seth Rollins. And he
Mhm.
would go on to win the World Heavyweight title for 5 minutes and 15 seconds before he could not gloat anymore. And he finally achieved his goal. And the menace in his attitude and the heel turn was justified because he is now World Heavyweight Champion. So he had to rub it right in CM Punk's face. And CM Punk had heard enough. He snapped, whipped his legs underneath him. And here comes Damian Priest with the money in the bank. Right.
Beautiful.
So that put Drew
Perfect.
McIntyre even into a further spiral, which led to Clash of the Castle, where he had Damian Priest beat. And then CM Punk would return again. There was a few other times in between where CM Punk would show his face, but CM Punk would return again and cost Drew McIntyre the World Heavyweight Championship, which led to
Mhm.
SummerSlam. We're almost there, Edgar. Which led to SummerSlam for their first actual match. CM Punk is cleared, and we find Seth Rollins as your guest referee in the middle of this yet again. And
Mhm.
Seth Rollins kind of skated both sides, but ultimately there was a bracelet involved. But the bracelet was a symbol of CM Punk with his favorite thing ever, Larry, and his
The
second thing
world
favorite
heavyweight bracelet.
AJ. But it was just a symbol to keep the feud alive while CM Punk was on the shelf so Drew could parade it around. We missed a few other key spots, but I'm just hitting the PLEs here. Drew McIntyre would go on to defeat CM Punk at SummerSlam Again, CM Punk would screw McIntyre again at Money in the Bank when Drew went to go cash in the Money in the Bank, and he was screwed again. So CM Punk kept getting the upper hand while injured, but CM Punk was taken down at SummerSlam due to the bracelet and the distraction from Seth Rollins. Perhaps that will lead to something else. Otherwise, leads
Mm-hmm.
to the strap match. Drew McIntyre loses to CM Punk. CM Punk gets his revenge, and he says this feud is done. And he
Mm-hmm.
says his new goal is to go after the World Heavyweight Championship because he returned to the WWE to make money. In order to make money, you need gold, right? And
Yeah.
he's not here to make friends, so on and so forth. But
Yeah.
Drew McIntyre's not done. He went on to attack CM Punk, steal the bracelet, and then break the bracelet. And this feud is overcooked, but not all overcooked steaks are bad, right? We're
Right.
still
Absolutely.
like so, well done is still, if it's the right cut, is still
Yep.
a decent meal.
Yes.
And I
Absolutely.
wouldn't want to. I don't prefer my steak well done, right? I prefer
Right.
it medium. I would say
I
medium.
think I think it's safe to say it's medium rare right now, up until this point right now.
Despite it simmering at a hot ass temperature, we are fully there.
Like, you can
And
eat it right now how it is,
I think
but
you could have ate it and finished it a while ago, but you savored it because it was
mhm,
delicious.
mhm,
And I don't really feel the negative kickbacks in this feud, but I'm also a CM Punk mark, and I adore Drew McIntyre for the
mhm.
last year and a half, so on and so forth, right? So I, I could have steak every day, right? But some people get sick of steak. What's your overall feeling? Have they gone too long? Is Bad Blood the perfect time to blow this off and move on to something else? Overall, what's your sentiment on this feud right now?
It's one of my favorite feuds, honestly. I mean, just to put it, plain and simple like that. I was a little disappointed after the strap match when I heard CM Punk said that he was done with Drew McIntyre, because I wanted to see them keep going. And, I said this on, one of my last episodes. You know that chant that they say, "Fight forever." I want them to feud forever. That's how I feel, because they could end it at Bad Blood. They're both tied 1-1. Technically the winner of this, it's like the best out of 3. They'll have one over on each other, but they could keep going if they want to, and if they keep going, it wouldn't be the worst thing. If they end it at Bad Blood, that wouldn't be the worst thing either. And that's what's like one of the things that's so great about this feud, that it kind of pisses me off when people just focus on the bracelet. Oh, these
It's just a
grown ass.
symbol. It's just a symbol within the feud. I get it is a little tacky. I'm not gonna lie, but they make it work.
Mhm,
There's giving chicken shit, and they're making chicken salad out of it with that
mhm.
bracelet, right? So I don't know. I feel that it's at the point, and if it goes beyond this, all right, we're starting to get in all right enough territory, right? But I don't think so. This is it. Honestly, I would personally have the loser be traded to SmackDown. I think CM Punk's winning this match. I'll let the cat out of the bag here. So I would have CM Punk win, rise to the top of Raw, eventually go after Gunther,
Mhm.
and I would move Drew to SmackDown, and I'd have him be Cody's foil right after the Bloodline, right, maybe right after Orton, or I would even just have him just go on SmackDown and do his thing, waiting for Cody, and that's
Yeah.
up at right, and that's
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the same thing that I was thinking too. CM Punk, I think, especially because he said he was going after Gunther, he has to go over, I think. And just really quick, I want to give a shout out because we got some comments on TikTok from Frank Johnson, 1973. Mid rare. Anything else is criminal. Anything other than mid rare, and
you
Javi
can't go
Rods.
Frank, you can't be getting close to the blue. You got to go beyond blue, buddy.
Yeah, Javi Rods, they're gonna blow the roof off. Thank you guys for your comments and the follows. CM Punk said he was going after Gunther, so I think that's the reason why CM Punk has to win at Bad Blood. And you answered one of my other questions. One of my concerns is, if that happens, if CM Punk goes over, this feud is over at Bad Blood, what happens to Drew McIntyre? And I think putting him on SmackDown would be a great would be probably the best move right now because other than that, I mean, CM Punk, he's the one that has potential feuds, with Bronson Reed. CM Punk could feud with Seth Rollins next, somewhere down the line.
Judgment
But
Day. There's plenty,
yeah.
plenty for CM Punk to do. And Drew, honestly, with that Raw roster, kind of been there, done that. To be frank, was there with Gunther, has been all over the Judgment Day. He's been with Jey Uso numerous of times. He's been around Sami Zayn plenty of times. SmackDown would be
Mhm.
fresh for him. He can go do LA Knight. He can go do Cody Rhodes. He can go do a lot, really. So I think SmackDown's a great spot for him.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that would make perfect sense. Especially if it's true what they've been saying about SmackDown getting added a third hour. I don't know if that's true or not, but they can
I think
definitely use
potentially it
someone
is
like Drew McIntyre.
for sure. All right, so history would tell you when CM Punk goes out there in the all white, things are going to get red, right? And
Yeah.
both men had said they're pretty much willing to bleed and quote unquote die to an extent, right? I think I
Mhm.
look sidebar. I do hate when they say they're going to die. Like let's not.
Yeah.
We don't have to go that far, guys. Let's stay in the lane of belief. But anyways, in history would tell you in white, CM Punk's going to bleed a gusher. Both guys promising blood. Do you think they have to come through with it, right? It's
Mhm.
presented Bad Blood, it's presented Hell in a Cell, feud of the year, grudge feud, so on and so forth. All the tea leaves are there. I personally think that they have to deliver with the blood. Like I'm not a big
Yeah.
gore guy, it has to be gore or whatever, but I think it would definitely add to it. And presenting it as in like we're gonna give it to you and to not take it away and deliver it would kind of hurt the match, in my opinion. So do you think
They've
we'll get
already
blood? Or do you think it's needed?
both. Yeah, I think we're gonna get it, and I think it's definitely needed for a feud like this. Um, Eduardo Ayala, thank you for your comment. What if Seth Rollins attacks CM Punk at Bad Blood? What do you think about that,
Post
Ryan?
match, perhaps. Like
Yeah.
he's dwindling around the feud, but he just returned on Bronson Reed. I feel like it's not in the cards right now. I feel
Right,
personally.
right. He's focused on Bronson Reed, but yeah, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk over the past I want to say since this feud started, man, they've been building up to something. And at first we thought it was a strap match, but this it wasn't the strap match. So if this is going to be the big final blow off match, I'm kind of worried and scared for both of those guys because I know they're going to try to go and push each other to the limits, and I don't know what those limits are, and that's kind of scary to me, but that's
Yeah.
also kind of exciting.
Yeah, I think well, in I want to know what's the construction. Are they go out there, balls to the wall, there's no real construction or guidelines to stick in, and they can go do their thing? Or it's like, all right, we have these TV 14 guidelines that we're giving you, but keep it kind of to an extent towards PG, and we just get this watered down version of blood and whatever. Or do they just roll out the red carpet, no pun intended, and we get like a red wedding scenario where it's just like lives
Mhm.
up to what it should be, really? So with the white
Mhm.
garbs, with CM Punk's history, with the presentation, I think we're gonna get the ladder there, and I think it's Halloween season, right? We're gonna get the gore, we're gonna get the violence, we're gonna get the look. I think
And it's Netflix
it's gonna
season
be awesome.
2.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
It's
prelude to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be, and it feels like I don't know, how you feel about this, Ryan, but have you noticed that even in the promos, they're kinda leaving that TV-14, they're kinda, like, crossing the line, not crossing the line, but seeing how far they can get to that line as to, like, making it more adult friendly, I guess you can say. Just the
Yeah.
things that they've been saying, all the chaos that's been happening on Monday Night Raw with the ring deploting and Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman just beating each other up the way that they did all over the arena. I think they're just gonna be like, okay, let's go crazy. But I have another concern for you, Ryan. I don't think they're gonna go that crazy because CM Punk, he's still really injury prone, is he not?
Yes, but I think I'd be more of a like athleticism weary of him when he tries and go out there and be a 45-year-old athlete, right? With a match
Mhm.
like this, you can go out there and, brutalize each other and get the same reaction without having to be the athlete, right? You can go out there and have the big spots, but not be the athlete. Of course, they're athletes, but you get what I'm saying. Like they are using like a different type of athleticism and they're using kind of gimmicks, right? So they're
Yeah.
being more using their strength more instead of their agility type of thing. If CM
Yep.
Punk were to be an athlete using agility and speed, I think he'd be more vulnerable as a 45-year-old man as opposed to being the CM Punk of friggin' Hulk Hogan stature, the arms, the chest, and everything's all bulky and jacked. I think that works more in his style now. You know what I mean? So I think that I think that he'll actually be much more safer in this environment than like a flippity doodah environment, right?
Yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. Good point. Mhm.
But then again, he also tore his tricep on a DDT. So what do I know? I'm just trying to think of athleticism standpoint to kind of to save
I'm
him in my mind and give him goodwill, and hopefully he doesn't get injured. Right? I'm trying to not visualize it in my.
yeah. No, I'm hopeful. I was worried in that strap match, but he pulled through it. They had a great match. Shout out to Wrestle Rant. I know we've been saying or hoping AJ Lee to return. She might.
She'd be. I think it'd be awesome. If she was like in the front row here. They add an extra layer to that. WWE has done that lately with the family in the front row. I think it
Mhm.
would be really cool if she had like the bracelet on or something, and then she put it on Punk at the end or whatever as a symbol of this feud's over or whatever. I think it'd be
Yeah.
really good timing, but I don't expect her. But that's a great call. I thought it'd be awesome.
Do we have time for one more question, Ryan? That I want to ask you something about this PLE.
Let it rip as we getting out of here, buddy.
Earlier I saw Pat McAfee and Cody Rhodes talk about. I heard the big man's going to show up. When
He's
you
talking
heard
about
that, who
Vince.
do you think it was?
I think he's talking about Vince, right? No, that's I'm kidding, obviously.
Okay.
But I think that probably a precursor to why it's main eventing. And if that's the case, that has to actually happen. It can't
Mhm.
be if this is not main eventing, that needs the main event because of an angle, and the angle of the big man being the Rock returning is just seems too easy and
Yeah.
rather perfect. And I guess is a good excuse to kind of have this not main event. But I would
Yeah.
open it, even though you're kind of against it. But the presentation of Bad Blood, and yet like you can't wait for the Bad Blood and the biggest, hottest feud right off the jump presented in that way. I guess I accept this being the opener, even though it should be the closer.
Yeah, and Cody, he's been, I feel like, opening up a lot of the PLEs lately, has he not?
It's the second best spot besides the main event, if you want. If to be frank, like Bash in Berlin, he opened, Gunther was closing. Clash of the Castle, he opened, McIntyre was closing. So the hometown guys were closing. And I guess you could say Cody's a hometown guy. Mixing Georgia, the whole Georgia tech angle, right? Yeah, I guess so, whatever. But still, I just feel it discredits this in a way, but it shouldn't because these guys should be fine.
Mhm.
Well, Edgar,
Cool.
we previewed it. I'm looking. It's the most anticipated match for me, regardless.
Yeah.
I'm picking CM Punk. Are you with me?
Yep. All the way.
All right. And my last question to you: will CM Punk have a World Heavyweight Championship title defense before the year is over?
Will he have a title defense before this year?
Yep. Will he go for the title? Well, not a title defense, but will he
Oh,
go for the title before the year is over?
I was like, whoa, hold on. We skipped something there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we skipped him winning it.
Um, oh man, but we're already getting close. I don't think so. Not this year.
All right, let
I
it
don't think
simmer, let it
so.
simmer. And then
Yeah.
CM Punk at WrestleMania is facing.
Gunther.
All right, that's a great Mania match. Low key, I think Gunther Cena, Gunther Brock. I don't know. The world is Gunther's oyster for WrestleMania. In my
Yeah.
opinion. So many fresh matches, and I can't wait to see them all. But that's Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk. If they go out there and have a great match, most likely feud of the year.
Hell yeah. Most definitely.
All right, guys, check out Snug Wrestling. Thank you for simulcasting on TikTok. All the questions added to the preview. Guys on TikTok, go on the North South. Check it out for the other match previews. And then guys in the audio, we're kind of lumping these all together. So go on into the YouTube and check out the previews. And go check out Snug Wrestling for sure.
Thank you so much, Ryan. I appreciate you. Yeah, check me out if you guys are listening. If you guys want to watch the live shows, if you guys don't have the channels, if you guys don't have cable, you guys can watch them along with me on TikTok.
Godsend right there. All right, Edgar. Thanks, buddy. See you on the next one.
Nah, thanks, Ryan.